should wander into the studio today, but Halei Heinzel, 77th Alice in Dairyland. Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
Wonderful. I've been on the road quite a bit, staying safe with those icy conditions, but it's been great. I'm glad it's warming up on the first day of spring.
Yeah, it's the first day of spring. This morning I wondered about that. Really? It is? Okay.
Yeah.
You were up about the time spring rolled in this morning, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm told spring rolled around at 4:01 this morning, and I got up at 3 a.m. So I was still in winter this morning when I woke up.
You've got me beat. I didn't get up quite that early, but almost. You're here to talk about, of course, it's a big day for basketball in the state. The state tournament's going on, and then, of course, the Badgers play in a couple of hours from now, too. So a lot of people are excited about it, Haley.
Yes, and when it comes to basketball, I love March Madness, and I also love March Madness for Wisconsin cheese. We have over 600 varieties, types, and styles of cheese in Wisconsin. I did the hard part. I narrowed those 600 down to an Elite 8, just like you would for regular Wisconsin basketball. And we're pitting those cheeses head to head. We're almost finished with those quarterfinals. Semifinals will be next week, and then we'll be doing that final matchup right at the end of March.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
Can you talk about the brackets and who's won so far?
So far we had Munster versus Alpine Style. Munster took it in a landslide.
Really?
I know Munster's favorited to win right now, so we'll see how that goes. Then we had Parmesan versus Havarti, and Parmesan actually took that one. I was pretty surprised. I think that was kind of an upset.
Really?
But it was close. It was close, but Parmesan took that one. And then last night we had Gouda take over mascarpone. Gouda over mascarpone, which I wasn't super surprised about that one. I'm a mascarpone lover personally, but I know why Gouda won. And then today we'll actually have Swiss versus Oaxaca. If you go onto my Facebook and Instagram stories, you can vote. It'll go live around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight, and we'll see who is making it into those semifinal rounds.
So your readers, your viewers, they're the ones that vote on the cheeses?
Yes, anyone listening can get involved. Head to Facebook or Instagram, look up Alice in Dairyland, click on my profile picture. That'll take you right to my story, and from there you can vote.
Oaxaca, that is a new one for me.
Yes.
So tell us about that cheese.
I tried to pick some cheeses that were maybe a little less familiar. With those 600 varieties, it can be really hard to pick a new cheese out in the grocery store. Oaxaca is a Mexican-style mozzarella cheese. So think like a string cheese. It definitely takes after its Italian roots from Dominican monks, but it's really great on things like quesadillas, tacos, burritos. It's very melty, and it's also great just as a snack like string cheese.
Wisconsin cheese, famous around the world. And some of those that you mentioned are well-renowned, aren't they?
Absolutely. There was definitely some classics on that list, some new names we might not have heard of, but Wisconsin cheese is internationally recognized and awarded. We're responsible for 25% of the specialty cheese supply in the world, like global supply, which is more than twice any other U.S. state. We also win more awards for our cheese than any other state, and if Wisconsin was its own country, we would win more awards than any other country in the world, which is pretty cool.
That's great. And some people will be having some basketball parties this weekend, so top it off with cheese.
Absolutely. Cheese or chocolate milk. Chocolate milk is actually the official beverage of the WIAA.
Oh.
13 essential nutrients that are key for recovery after a game of pickup basketball, but they're also great for powering you throughout the day, especially if you got up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Do you have like some sort of keg of chocolate milk in your car or something with a tube that runs through your mouth? Or how does that work?
That'd be very efficient, but I am a frequent stopper at Quick Trip. I'm a green cap girl. I know that's very controversial, but I love a green cap chocolate milk from Quick Trip. But no matter what milk you're drinking, as long as you're purchasing Wisconsin dairy, that's what matters. If you're looking for that Wisconsin dairy in the grocery store, you're going to want to look for the Proudly Wisconsin Cheese or Proudly Wisconsin Dairy badge. That can be found in 99% of grocery stores across the United States. If you're looking for fluid milk specifically, like that green cap chocolate milk, you're going to want to look for the number 55 on the packaging to identify that it was packaged here in Wisconsin.
That's how you tell?
Yep.
Okay.
It's that easy.
Did not know. And, I'm kind of a chocolate milk connoisseur. It is hard to beat Quick Trip's chocolate milk. I'm not sure, because I've had the other brands and, other stops, and it's like, it isn't the same. I don't know what it is.
It's because it's bottled in Wisconsin.
That's what it is.
And here, it's bottled right nearby in La Crosse, actually, and they only take milk from about 100 miles around their bottling facility. So it's nice and local, which is really great. We only have a couple bottling plants in Wisconsin. Lamers is one of my other favorites, and they're a family-owned bottling facility over near the Appleton area.
Okay. You have learned a lot during your tenure about where things come from, haven't you?
Absolutely. It helps when you stop through and see it in person.
I bet it does. So the cheese tournament continues
Yes.
here, and we've seen a couple of upsets then. So are you picking one particular brand to win it all, or what do you think?
You know, it's really hard for me to select a favorite. I love every cheese that comes out of Wisconsin, honestly and truly. I've eaten so much cheese during my year as Alice. I agree. I think Munster might take it. That's definitely a fan favorite for sure, although Parmesan also really came out swinging. I was really surprised. But if people really want to get involved and have their vote known, you definitely got to head to Facebook and Instagram and vote. It's all up to the viewers. It's really not up to me. I'm also really cheering for Oaxaca tonight. I know that one's kind of an underdog over Swiss, but we'll see how it goes.
Interesting. What is the best cheese to make a toasted cheese sandwich?
Ooh, that's a really good one. We definitely had some good ones on the list that are super melty. I know Munster is great, like on a grilled cheese. Otherwise, Gouda is another really melty one. And Swiss, if you're in for more of a little bit of a funkier, stronger flavor.
It's fun to mix them, though, isn't it?
Yeah, stack them up. You could have all three at once. That's a great way to do it.
I was going to say. And then somebody else gave me a tip. Instead of using butter on the bread, use mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, yeah, that's an interesting one. So mayonnaise is more of an egg and oil-based condiment. So that could help support our poultry producers. Otherwise, I do love butter. Wisconsin is number 2 in the United States for butter production. So again, looking for the number 55 on those sticks of butter is going to help you identify that those butters were packaged in Wisconsin.
Right. I didn't mean to diss butter, but I mean, you know, or you could use both. You could put the butter on the inside. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Halei Heinzel, Alice in Dairyland in our studio with us today on WRCO as we anticipate the pregame show starting for basketball, and we've got the cheese show. I guess it's the not the post-game show yet, but it's the regular season going on for your cheese derby, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're right in the middle of it with that Wisconsin cheese bracket.
And you're also promoting lots of other things, such as a lot of people are tapping trees right now.
It's exciting. We are just getting started with our maple syrup season. On the Alice side of things, I'm doing our first official tree tapping of the year actually on this Saturday up in Mountain, Wisconsin at Bear Paw Boy Scout Camp. I know lots of people are already tapping trees once that weather gets above freezing during the day, below freezing at night. That is the ideal time to start tapping our maple trees. But I am excited to try my hand at it on Saturday.
Again, you're putting on some miles. That's a long trip from Madison, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I've already put on 1,000 miles this week, so we'll just keep counting them up. I'm hoping to hit 50,000 by the time I'm done as Alice. So it's a good week for that.
I wonder what the record is for an Alice in Dairyland as far as miles on a car.
You know, I think it was last year's Alice, Ashley Hagenau, because it used to be like you hit around 40,000. That was a really good year. And I know she went way above and beyond that. So I don't know exactly what number she hit, but she's the one I got to beat.
Going for it. Some other things that you're going to be involved in. Are you still doing some school visits?
I do still have a couple school visits left. That has been absolutely a highlight of my year. We're starting to kind of tick down as kids are getting out of school in May. So that's been really exciting. Always visiting those 4th grade classrooms. But I do anything from little 3-year-olds at a library all the way up through 99-year-olds at a retirement facility. I really firmly believe there's no silly questions when it comes to being curious about where your food comes from. So I've been really enjoying that. I did just start a new campaign on my social media called Ask Alice, especially to hit up those schools that maybe I didn't get a visit in at, or any other children across the state. They can actually write letters into DATCAP's office, and then I can post them on social media and reply to their questions.
Very good. And you'll be giving away that crown later this year. And
yes.
In fact, the contest is in our area too, isn't it?
Yes, down in Crawford County, not too far from here. It looks very similar, that driftless area all the way through, and absolutely beautiful. It's coming up May 15th through the 17th, which is sooner than I can even believe. We announced those 6 top candidates a couple weekends ago down in Crawford County during the press briefing. They come from all over the state, all different backgrounds. One's an ag teacher, one a dairy farmer, one is working as a cheese scientist. So they really all have different backgrounds and different things to bring to the table. I'm really excited to see them all shine as top candidates.
Have you met them all?
I have. They have been absolutely wonderful to get to know better.
That's awesome. So it's a little bittersweet, though, isn't it?
Yes, it definitely is. It's hard to kind of let go of this part of my life, but I am definitely excited to kind of move on into real adulthood past college. This has definitely been a very, very fun year, once in a lifetime opportunity, and I'm excited to be able to help mentor the current top candidates to become better advocates for agriculture, and then take take that one Alice out of it and really see her shine in this role.
When does your reign end?
I'm officially done on July 6th. So I still have a while yet. Don't worry. It's over 100 days. I don't remember the exact count now, but it's getting down there. But I have plenty of time. I'll be here all of June. So June Dairy Month, I'm excited to rock and roll, hit up all those dairy breakfasts and talk all about Wisconsin dairy.
I was going to say, you won't miss those. Then you'll be able to still have the dairy breakfast. You can eat like a queen, right?
Yes, absolutely. They say it's like going out with a bang. You already know everybody. You've been around the block a couple times as Alice. So it really is just like one big celebration of the end of your year.
Then we'll have to put some ads on because you'll be looking for a job. So anybody wants to hire Alice.
Definitely. I am looking in the agricultural marketing field, but, way in the future, I'd really like to be a farmer one day.
Yeah,
so always keeping that open.
You've said that. That's awesome. And I told you off the air, too, I had some FFA students in here, and there's a high percentage that want to wind up back on the farm.
It's really, really great to see. I've seen a lot of people my age now going back to where maybe their parents left the farm, work in the industry, or are completely removed, but their grandparents are still farming, and they want to take over the farm from them, which I think is really, really great.
It is. All right. So you've got some things coming up here toward the end of the school year. I know your sustainable campaign, you've been working on that as well?
Yes, we'll be talking all about sustainability in the dairy industry, how our dairy farmers are being good for the planet through taking care of the land and the water, and also talking about how cows are really nature's great recyclers, which is pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of science that goes on inside the cow. She can take all those things we can't eat and turn them into great dairy and beef products for us to enjoy.
Indeed. And the cheese contest continues. So how can people vote on their favorite cheese here in the cheese brackets?
So Swiss and Oaxaca, that's what's going head-to-head. That's going to be up tonight around 8 or 9 o'clock p.m. Head to Facebook or Instagram. Click Alice in Dairyland. Right on my profile picture. Takes you to my story. You can vote right on there. It's as easy as pressing a button.
I got to tell you, I think I'd pick Swiss if I was voting. I like them both, but Swiss is pretty good stuff.
Yeah, Swiss is a classic. It's definitely a heavy hitter in this round.
And then what is going on in the next round then?
So then it'll be Munster versus Parmesan in the semifinals. So whichever one wins that goes to the final round. And then it'll be whatever wins tonight versus Gouda. So I think Swiss versus Gouda is going to be a tough matchup. That's going to be a hard one to pick.
Yeah, there's a lot of holes in the Swiss defense, though. So, so they have a hard time playing defense, probably.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. But their offenses seem strong. So
that's awesome. We always appreciate it when you stop by.
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me.
Come back and see us again. And
absolutely, anytime.
If anyone is interested in Alice in Dairyland and the program, you got plenty of stuff out there where they can check it out.
Yes, I'm always doing something different and new. Facebook and Instagram is the best way to keep track of me. If you want to learn more about the Alice in Dairyland program or request her to one of your events or classrooms, head to aliceinDairyland.com.
All right. Well, a couple of bottles of chocolate milk, and you're going to be back in Madison in an hour or so, right? Thanks for coming by, Haley.
Thank you.
You bet. Halei Heinzel, the 77th Alice in Dairyland.